Afghanistan 2.0 is going to happen in Ukraine. President Zelensky could flee the war-torn country anytime. This news has been revealed by Stephen Bryen, a former official of the US Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He writes that the Pentagon is no doubt gaming out rescue plans should Zelensky's unraveling and unpopular government fully collapse. You see, Zelensky is holding Ukraine hostage. His war-mongering administration is extremely unpopular. The mayor of Kyiv city last year said Zelensky was fast becoming like an autocrat. Major cities of the country, including Kyiv, Odessa, and Kharkov, are standing on the verge of full-blown unrest. He is even refusing to hold elections. He says, "War now, elections later." According to the Financial Times, Zelensky is also targeting free media and wants to control the flow of information. Is this what the West calls the fight for democracy? The truth is out in the open. Zelensky is facing a tough time on the battlefield. His counteroffensive against Russia miserably failed. His regime can collapse anytime now, and the US is already working on a plan B. After the fall of Avdiivka last month, the US tried to up the ante and played the NATO card to ward off Russia. For instance, French President Emmanuel Macron is openly calling for NATO's deployment in Ukraine. And as per a recent communication leak from German military sources, British troops are already operating in Ukraine. So, the message for Russia here is quite simple. Even if the US is involved in Israel and the Middle East, NATO is there to protect Ukraine's interests. But the plan backfired as Germany and other NATO allies openly ruled out NATO's direct intervention in the war. The Guardian reports that Western Europe is fast losing interest in the Ukraine war. They see no interest in driving Russia out from the Russian-speaking regions of Ukraine. Nations like Germany now want the war to end and start rebuilding Ukraine as soon as possible, even if peace comes at the cost of surrendering the land currently under Russian occupation. This lack of enthusiasm from Europe has forced the US to think about evacuating Zelensky. As per Stephen Bryen, US might relocate Zelensky to Lviv, a city in western Ukraine, which would be extremely tough for Russia to access. The US will keep Zelensky there for as long as 1 year until elections are held in November. Later on, he might be shifted to some Eastern European nation. But in Zelensky's absence, who will take charge of Ukraine? Bryen says the role could be offered to Valery Zaluzhny, former commander-in-chief of the Ukraine's armed forces. In February this year, he was forced to step down amid rumors that something was not right between him and Zelensky. Highly likely he will be the next pawn in the hands of America to wage a Cold War against Russia. But even this move of America can backfire spectacularly. This is because Valery is quite popular among Ukraine forces and he might consider negotiating a peace deal with Russia to bring an end to the war and save the lives of thousands of soldiers. If this turns out to be the reality, this would be extremely embarrassing for US, Zelensky, and the EU. That's all for today. Thanks for watching Outright. Subscribe for more such insights.